Hi everyone, and welcome to Playful Pathways. My name is Aideen, and today I want to talk about the very real struggle that can arise when it's time for kids to put phones and tablets away. I'm going to give you a bit more info about why this happens and a few techniques for helping you to avoid it. Before I do though, I want to remind you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I release new videos every week, so make sure that you have subscribed or that you like the Facebook page so that you can be notified when new ones are released. Okay, let's talk screen time. Let's be blunt about this. Screens and gadgets are highly addictive. Many of the apps and games that we use have powerful effects on the brain, triggering feelings of pleasure and reward and reducing stress and pain. They're designed to suck us into another world and keep us there. So no wonder there can be a bit of a battle with your child when suddenly that time is brought to an abrupt close. It's a hard adjustment to make. So what can we do about it? The first step is going to be to set some very clear boundaries for your child. We want you to be the one in charge of how much time they're spending on screens and gadgets, so it's really important that you set and communicate really clear boundaries and limits from the get-go. Decide how much time your child is going to have on the phone or tablet, and then let them know in advance when their time's going to be up. So you might say, okay, you can have 20 minutes, so that's going to be until 6 o'clock, then it's going to be time to wash your hands and come to dinner. Once your child is plugged in, you can help them to stay on track by giving them countdowns. You can let them know when they have 10 minutes left, 5 minutes left, and 1 minute left. I would say 3 countdowns is probably enough, because if you give them any more than that, you're probably just going to annoy them and they will tune you out. This countdown technique is really helpful for kids because mostly they don't have a very well-developed sense of time. They don't know what 20 minutes feels like, and they may not be able to read a clock. So letting them know these countdowns will help them to prepare for the ending and accept it more easily when it comes. It won't feel like such a shock or an unfair surprise. You can also use this technique with all kinds of situations for kids. So you could use it when they're finishing playing or getting ready to leave the house. Basically, any situation where you're transitioning from one place or activity to another. When you're doing this though, make sure that your child has heard you. We know how easy it is to get sucked into that world and not notice what's going on around you. They might need a bit of a grounding touch or a visual reminder as well as a vocal one. But even with these reminders and the knowledge that the ending is coming, children can sometimes struggle to transition from that all-consuming world of the game back into the real world. If this is the case, you can help your child to do this by stepping over into their world and gently bringing them back with you. It might look like this. You've given them a 10-minute warning and a 5-minute warning, and then when there's 1 minute left, you go and sit beside them. You look at what they're doing and engage with it. You might ask them some questions about what they've been doing, express some interest in it. You're much more likely to get their attention if you go to the place where their attention is already at. And then once they're responding to you, they're answering your questions and you've got a bit of a conversation going about it, you can then remind them that it's time to turn it off now because time's up. If you're genuine in your interest and engagement, then your child is going to respond to this. You are their favorite person. And if you're sincere in your attention, then that's going to be much more appealing to them than the screen. It's also a nice chance for you to get some insight into what they're interested in. And believe me, your child is going to love sharing this with you. Now, if they're upset or disappointed, then you can feel free to empathize with that. Say, I know it's really hard to end something that you were really enjoying. I feel that way too sometimes. And then they might need a little cuddle, or perhaps if you've got a little tickling game or something that you enjoy playing, you can do those things as part of the reconnection and the transition back to the real world. This is also a great time to remind them of what's happening next, or better yet, give them a little task or activity to do that will make them feel helpful and useful. It could be something like setting the table if they're having dinner, or going to wash their hands, or helping their little sister to put her shoes on. Little tasks and activities like these can really help to build the bridge back to the real world. Now, I know that some of you are going to be hearing these suggestions and thinking, I don't have time to have these kinds of conversations with my kids, or nope, when I tell them to turn it off, that's what they should do, and that's that. And my response to that is that if you are having these battles on a regular basis with your child, then it's likely you're already spending a good bit of time and energy dealing with the fallout. And it's possible that you're establishing a bit of a habit or a pattern about conflict in this situation, and that could be quite unintentional. You're both expecting a battle, and that's what you get. If you're able to invest a bit more time at the beginning to prevent a struggle, then over time your child will get used to a new pattern, one of playing and slowly accepting that the ending is approaching and staying emotionally regulated while they finish and move on to the next thing. I also think that it's never too early to start talking to your kids about healthy screen time habits. You might want to establish some rules or limits that apply to everyone in the family, such as screen-free times of the day, or curfews or zones in your home, like the bedrooms. If you're a parent who's trying to reduce your own screen time, then talk to your kids about that. By watching you set limits and manage your own transitions back to the real world, it will really help them learn to manage their own screen time. So that's it for today. Thanks again has to go to my lovely Patreon patrons who are helping us to keep making these videos for you. If you would like to support Playful Pathways, then have a look at my Patreon page. And if you enjoyed this video, then you'll probably like others on my channel, so make sure that you press subscribe and turn your notifications on. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Bye!